old friend.
So if you are living in ranked Wonderland and not paying attention to the things that are happening in Battlegrounds, patch 17.0 dropped last week on March 26th. And granted, there was a lot of things in that patch that were not Battlegrounds related, but there were quite a few very notable things that were. First off, 4 hero choices is now live. If you have unlocked Battlegrounds bonus stats like right now, meaning you could like choose from 3 heroes and you've got visual emotes, and frankly the emotes is like the best thing. That's my favorite part of Battlegrounds. I love that Murloc. You now have access to 4 options of heroes at the start of your game.
Right. And I think so you can unlock that now with the pre-purchase, because that's why the 4 hero choices went live, is because it's all part of that whole Battlegrounds ticket that we talked about last week. So you can unlock that now with the pre-order, or you already have it if you had your bonuses already unlocked. But if you don't do the Battlegrounds ticket, which is included with the pre-order, then you will lose your 4 hero access as of the launch next week. So do make sure that you guys are aware of when your Battleground bonuses are resetting and what you need to do to make sure that you either don't lose your 4 hero bonus, or, you know, like be prepared for that to happen next week and know how to get that back.
It's also when the Battlegrounds pass that you don't need to get in a pre-order bundle will also be available.
Right. Yeah. So it's in the pre-order bundle right now, and then you can purchase like the Battlegrounds only portion post launch.
Yeah. Which I cannot wait for my Euro account, which is my mobile account. That is $19.99 that no longer belongs to me. And I'm going to have 4 options on my side account. I'm really actually freaking looking forward to it. But yeah, so that's in. I really like the 4 options a lot. I feel a lot less cornered into what I see as bad picks, or what I know as bad picks, because I am informed through statistics. Certainly not my own opinion, because still very, very wrong about Millhouse. But yeah, also Illidan, a new playable hero for Battlegrounds, is in the game as of the patch from last week. We didn't really get too much of a chance to talk about him, so just a reminder, Illidan's hero power is Wingman. It's a passive. Start of combat, your left and rightmost minions attack immediately. And Illidan has not launched to a particularly impressive win rate. You and I have been rather large fans of HS Replay and their new Battlegrounds edition the past couple of weeks.
It's so good.
It is. There's a lot to take in. There is a lot to take in. You do have to pay for most of the statistics outside of like hero win rates and whatnot, but it's a really good tool. But Illidan is 4th from the bottom at the moment. And I believe I do have this currently filtered. I do, by 5,600 MMR plus with 540,000 games for the sample size. That's a lot of games. So yeah, Illidan
many games.
Not doing too great. I've only gotten 1 game with him, and I got 3rd place. Like, I had a really good time. It's actually, I think, the highest placement I've had. I've been playing mostly ladder the past week. Go figure. Not a lot of Battlegrounds, and I've had pretty rotten luck in Battlegrounds in the games I have played. So like, I had I'm sorry. I think I also had a pretty good finish with Deathwing, but everything else, like, I had a bad. Like, I think I had a 5th place finish on Millhouse. I had some rough luck, but Illidan's one of my highest freaking finishes in the last week. And I also think this hero power is fun as hell. So Jocelyn and I was talking about this in our Patreon Discord. I think I may have found the first bad hero that I am passionate about.
Yeah, mine I think was probably Reno. I will play him forever.
Oh, I do like Reno as well.
Oh,
who is
so good.
A whole 4 more heroes above Illidan. So
yeah. So bad is relative, but yeah, I think Illidan he's definitely interesting. I haven't had him offered to me yet, so I haven't actually played him, but he's another one that kind of flips what you know about Battlegrounds on its head, because your left and rightmost minions attacking immediately happens even before the like dragon spit flame little 1-drop dudes. Yeah, before they do their thing, your minions attack, right? So it's like you have to start thinking about Battlegrounds positioning in an entirely new way. So, this goes back to, Daryl, this goes to Millhouse, like all these kind of things that make you think about the game, the economy, the combat, even the addition of dragons with the at the start of combat effect of the 1-drop, which I'm totally blanking on the name right now, but anything that makes you completely and utterly rethink how you need to play Battlegrounds is going to have an impact on its immediate win rate. Now, Illidan has only been in since, like you say, Thursday last week. It's now currently, wait, what day is it?
It's Wednesday, Jocelyn.
Wednesday.
Just shy of a week.
Yeah, just shy of a week. So I think that we might see his win rate start to climb a little bit as people get used to playing as him, because like I say, you need to completely rethink how you play and what goes on the left and right, because normally you're trying to hide stuff on the right, and like, well, is it better to just like then put that one in and then attack with something else first? Like it's a whole new puzzle to solve, and I don't think you can solve it in a week. So I think he's going to go up.
I'm so hesitant to make any sort of prediction now, but I think he's going to stay more or less where he is. I would be surprised to see him. Like, that's a lot of games logged, man. That's a lot of games. Like, if we haven't figured it out by now, I don't know. But what's his average placement? Yeah, it's not great. It's not great. It's 7th is his highest average placement. Mm-hmm. But yeah,
he definitely
has filtering by higher MMR players, but yeah, so I ended up doing a juggler comp, and I had a blast with it. I had double imprisoners, and I just put them on right and left, so they just immediately started, pooping out more.
Yeah, dying and juggling, and again, you're guaranteeing a part of the game that used to be random, and not only that, but you get to do it twice in a row, right? So assuming both players have their boards completely full, then whoever gets to start is random. You're taking that piece of randomness out of Battlegrounds, so you have control over how combat is going to go in a way that you don't if you play any other heroes. So I don't know. I think that there's something there with him, and I think we just have to learn what the best comps are for him, and how to make it work in a way that we haven't had to make work yet.
Yeah, that is a sentence.
Yeah, I know. Is he better than Flurgle? Everyone is. Every single hero is better than Flurgle.
I'm buying the Flurgle Kool-Aid that Flurgle is better than win rates would make Flurgle appear.
Well, look at his curve. I mean, you're either first or you're last with Flurgle, basically.
Right.
You get the nuts or you don't.
Flurgle is the Ricky Bobby hero. Right. If you're not first, you're probably last. The chance of a second, third, or fourth place finish is extremely low with Flurgle. But your first place finish and your 8th place finish, they're damn near equal. 8th is a little higher, but it's close.
Yeah,
it's close. I don't know. It's just, I'm at a point now where it is very hard for me to not pick Flurgle when Flurgle is offered, because it's just like I'm chasing it. I'm just chasing it. Like, I know the potential.
Chasing the Flurgle dream.
Well, it's just like, well, what else are you looking at, Joss? Like, in talking about placement over like Millhouse. Okay, whatever. Let's get Millhouse out of the picture. And you know what? Never mind. A lot of other heroes up at the top actually have higher first place finishes than or like in the same ballpark, but there's something about that. There's something about just wanting to dance with danger. Don't you want to live a little, Jocelyn? Don't you want to just give it your all? Just
live on the edge.
Yes, exactly. You're in a drag race. You're taking it to red line every single gear, and you're hoping your engine doesn't explode. That's playing Flurgle.
You're walking that runway and working it. Oh, wait, wrong drag race.
Make it work. Wrong fashion show, which has been picked up or stolen by Amazon. I'm so confused. What's going on with Project Runway? Anyways, Garrett is a masochist, says Elvix in the chat room. Yes.
Accurate.
Yes. Yeah. Also, nobody has sent me a good Flurgle story that doesn't involve Bran, but props to Crip for putting up a clip of him winning without Bran. Because I don't know if you've been up to date on Battlegrounds clips on YouTube, but I've got some critiques, which is most of these are usually extremely lucky, and it's hard to kind of learn things from Battlegrounds YouTube clips. But that one stuck out to me. I'm like, all right, okay, you didn't get Bran. Hats off. So, but yeah, there were other changes anyways in this patch as well. A big one is that Cobalt Guardian has been removed from the minion pool. Bye-bye, Cobalt Guardian. We were very familiar with you.
We knew exactly who you were.
yes, exactly. And taking Cobalt Guardian's place is a new mech called Deflectobot. Deflectobot. It looks like a Pandaren built him. But Deflectobot is also living in the 3-star tier. It's a 3/2 mech minion with Divine Shield and reads, whenever you summon a mech during combat, gain +1 attack and Divine Shield. So it has the Divine Shield juggling that you're kind of looking for.
It's just the same, only different.
Yes, and gains attack. And if you triple it, it gains +2 attack. There's again no stacking Divine Shields.
You can't double Divine Shields. Yeah,
obviously it also doubles its stats. It's going to be a 6/4. And Deflectobot is doing pretty damn well. If you look at compositions and like winning compositions over on HS Replay, Deflectobot can be found in basically all of the winning mech compositions. Also in the Divine Shield composition, which Cobalt Guardian was already filling that slot. So now that Deflectobot is here, it's interesting to me how well Deflectobot is working as a replacement to Cobalt Guardian, and yet does feel different.
Yeah, it does feel different. And I'm kind of curious. I mean, I guess it has lower starting stats, so maybe that's why. But I'm curious to know the thinking behind replacing an already strong minion with something that interacts with the other minions. Like I'm thinking of the one that summons the microbots, and I'm totally blanking on its name right now, which it's from current Hearthstone. So that's, come on, Jocelyn. Replicating Menace. That's it. Replicating Menace. So like it interacts with the microbots in the same way, in a better way, actually, because it's actually going to gain attack during your turn, like during the combat phase.
Well, it's potentially better, right? And I think that's where it stacks up in an interesting way to Cobalt Guardian, because as you said, Deflectobot starts with half the attack of Cobalt Guardian.
It does, but you can buff it the same way that you used to buff Cobalt Guardian, because you were always looking for your like Metal Tooth Leapers and stuff to buff the attack of your mechs. So, you know, the 6 attack on Cobalt Guardian wasn't even necessarily, it was definitely a strength, but in Battlegrounds, you ramp up those attacks so quickly with all of your battle cry minions. So I don't know. It's interesting. And then it grows in combat as well, which Cobalt Guardian did not do. So yeah, I don't know. I'm curious to know the thinking behind this change, because it seems like you said, Deflectobot is still found in mech lists or mech comps. It's found in Divine Shield comps. It fills the exact same cost in the exact same place and purpose as Cobalt Guardian did. So I don't really know what the big difference is, other than the cuteness factor. Yes,
really, I think it comes down to the first swing, because like yes, its attack can grow, but to use your example of microbots, you would need to get all 3 of them, which is actually kind of rare because there's not always enough room for all 3 microbots to spawn, to go up to 6 attack. And you would also want your Deflectobot to swing first, like right away, to get rid of Divine Shield, to get maximum like value out of your Divine Shield reset. So the first hit with a vanilla Deflectobot is only going to hit for 3, whereas with Cobalt, it hit for 6, and then potentially unplanned follow-up hits from your enemy's minions running into your Cobalt Guardian would have been guaranteed 6 more damage, whereas on the Deflectobot, it's up in the air depending on how many mechs you have spawned. So there was just more guaranteed value out of a Cobalt Guardian, like right out of the box, whereas Deflectobot is kind of a build minion. You need to, and even the same with Metal Tooth Leaper, it's still additive, right? Because like if you have 6 guaranteed attack and you add 3 to that, well, you have 9 guaranteed attack as opposed to 6 guaranteed attack with an upside of having more attack down the road. That's kind of where my head is at with that. And I think that's kind of what they realize. I don't know. I look at this and I, to me, my brain goes like, oh, I see the challenge of like wanting to change the text on Cobalt Guardian, but because Cobalt Guardian is a card that exists in constructed Hearthstone, they didn't want to do that. And they're like, well, what would be more interesting? Well, let's half the attack. And also they did, the health isn't worth a ton, but it's worth something. They did remove a health in regards to this.
I feel like
Guardian, but
I didn't even really like think of the health too much, because it's like by the time I was getting either Deflectobots or Cobalt Guardians on board, it's like if it gets hit without a Divine Shield, it's dying. So it doesn't, like, that doesn't change whether it's 3 health or 2 health. Like
incidental damage through things like unstable ghoul though and whatnot. You know, it's worth mentioning. It's going to take you a little bit longer to buff it out of range of a juggle as well, because you just needed 1 health on a Cobalt Guardian and it could have survived a single juggle, like without a shield. So they're all things to keep in mind. But I think Deflectobot's performance is a really good indicator of just how powerful Cobalt Guardian was, because I think Cobalt Guardian was just more guaranteed power out of the gate, and Deflectobot, which leaves a decent amount of power up in the air because of the way that it works, doesn't matter, it's still working just fine. So this kind of, to me, like really proves why Cobalt Guardian needed to be addressed. So
no, I agree. Like Cobalt Guardian, especially since it was one of the strongest minions from the original Battlegrounds pool, it makes a lot of sense why that was one of the ones that we were getting sick of. That was one of the ones that needed to be addressed. One of the ones that maybe was a balance issue, given all of the new stuff that had been added since, like whether it's new heroes or new cards or whatever. Like we're not in the same Battlegrounds place that we were in November. So yeah, it was time. It was definitely time.
Yeah. I agree. And then there was one more minion that was supposed to be added. Felfin Navigator, Murloc at tier 3 with 4 attack and 4 health and a battle cry that reads, give your other minions, your other Murlocs +1/+1. However, due to a bug, Felfin Navigator will not appear in Battlegrounds until April 7th.
So I think when he actually joins Battlegrounds, then Flurgle's his win rate, his curve, I think is going to change a lot. You're going to have less like first or last and more like second, third, fourth place finishes. Like I think it's going to even out a little bit.
We're going to have a mesa as opposed to a bell curve. Is that what you're?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Nice. So it's just like a horizon, I guess.
It's kind of, it's like an upside down bell curve, because it's like lots of 1s and lots of 8s, but not a lot in the middle.
It's a fat cat's stomach. It's just like hanging.
There you go. But yeah, so I think once this Murloc actually makes it into the game, then I think Flurgle is going to do a lot better. So I welcome our new Murloc overlords starting April 7th.
I am afraid and simultaneously excited for a world where Murlocs are more consistent.
Yeah.
I feel like if it becomes an issue, we can address the top end. Because right now, like the mid game for them is just, it's just a massive risk that you are taking on.
Right. And so the addition of a strong buff your whole rest of your tribe tier 3 minion is going to shore up that mid game. And I think that then they're going to be able to make it to the late game. And then you're right, that might be where we need to make some adjustments. Yep, but maybe. Yeah, and especially with this Felfin Navigator being a battle cry minion, it means it's the kind of thing that, like, if it stays on your board, cool, because 4/4 stats is decent, but it's the kind of thing that you can buy and sell and buff and buff and buff and buff. So yeah, it's going to get Murlocs through that mid portion the same way that, you know, your menagerie builds and your beast builds and everything else are currently trying to make it through.
Yeah, I agree. And now I don't want to spend too much time like talking much more about the Battlegrounds meta, because we just had so much to talk about today. I don't want to, keep the show going on too much longer, but I do want to mention that, Jocelyn, I was wrong about a second thing.
What?
I was wrong about a second thing in Battlegrounds, and that's Pyramad. Pyramad is in the top 10 now. What a world we are living in. I don't know how I feel
about that.
I don't know how I feel about that either, other than a little dumb, because 4 health for 1 gold is a pretty big chunk of stats that can really mess with breakpoints. And Yogg, a hero whose hero power isn't worth very much, like past turn 5, turn 6. Yogg has really high average placement because Yogg's ability to get guaranteed buffs on the early turns of a Battleground session is basically free wins for the early rounds. So you're just
I don't think I've ever beat a Pyramad since the patch. Like, I don't think I've had a win in the first 5 to 6 turns against a Pyramad. I mean, eventually you catch up, but their early game is just so strong that they're kind of hitting that mid to late game with way more health than most other people, because they just haven't lost rounds. So they're still up somewhere between 35 and 40 health while everybody else is in the kind of mid 20s. So they have a lot more to play with, and then a lot more time to find something good in those late rounds where other people are really struggling and worrying about, losing a round or two and taking, 15 to 20 damage in a chunk. So
yeah. There's some exceptions. I've had some luck with Deathwing if I find decent minions, and late leveling, like late tier 2 leveling mill houses. Obviously, you can find, I think, just enough minions on the budget buying spree that you can go on that you might be able to.
So you can beat Pyramad with the heroes that are above him on the list.
Yes, that's exactly what I was getting at.
Imagine that.
But yeah, this is a hero that I totally slept on. And haven't had offered to me. I've been wanting to try Pyramad ever since I've been watching him rise. But here we find ourselves. So a wild world that we live in. And again, I'm just saltily staring at Sir Finley going, you never offer me nice things.
Look how flat and consistent Finley is.
It's a horizon.
He and Toki, actually, it's almost a straight across line.
Toki and Finley are just hanging out. They're like, hey, doesn't it feel so good to be consistent? Yeah. Except Finley would just go, Actually, Finley speaks English.
I know, Finley speaks. Come on. He has a fabulous accent.
It's quite the gentleman. Quite the gentle fish man.